Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your hosts E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten, coming straight out of Gotham.
Everybody, and welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham, episode 57. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Make sure you check out all the other great shows on the network by heading on over to batmanonfilm.com. There's a tab you check down for podcasts, and there's a bunch of other ones. Batman Book Club, Gotham Outsiders, ELTD, the Batman on Film podcast. They're all there, so make sure you check out all those great shows. I am your co-host from the other side of the Hudson River. I'm a senior contributor to Batman on Film. I'm Peter R. Vera. And today we're recording on December 3rd, 2021. As always, I have a great show for you today. But before we get into tongue-tied, we get into the good stuff, I'd like to remind you, all of our faithful listeners, that if you take the time to rate and review our show on iTunes and Apple Podcasts, and we read your review on air, you win a special prize pack, so make sure you do that. Now, let me introduce you to my partner in crime, the lead singer of the hottest band on the planet right now, the Long Island Boys, Eric Holzman.
You really need to explain to me the infatuation with the Island Boy thing.
It's bad singing. It's bad hair.
You have to explain that.
Everything about it's horrible. It's so bad it's good. Like, it's just one of those things where it's just absolutely dreadfully amazing. And I just enjoy it.
So don't make me lead singer of a crappy band.
You're not. You are the lead singer of the Long Island Boys, not the Island Boys. You are the Backstreet Boys to their NSYNC, my friend. You are just.
I'm not sure that's any better, but it's okay.
I mean, if you can make money off of it, it's great.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I should record a Christmas album. Everyone records a Christmas album, right?
You and Mariah Carey.
I should do one. Kind of like the Snoop Dogg one. I don't know if you saw Pitch Perfect too. Maybe you didn't.
No, I did not.
All right. Well, Snoop Dogg does a Christmas album in that movie.
All right.
And it's pretty funny. It's funny how they do it and stuff.
I'm sure it's worth the price of admission.
Well done. So yeah, Pete. So we haven't done this in a while. So happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Either we've been eating turkey or we've been lazy. It's one or the other. It's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, man. So how was your Thanksgiving?
No, it was good. A lot of good stuff. Just me, mom, my brother. Mom made a delicious turkey. I smoked some turkey legs and stuff in the smoker outside. So it was just a combination of fun and just enjoyable things. And I love candied yams and sweet potato pie. So, I mean, what about you? Like, I mean, I'm sure Rick Shue had mashed potatoes. Like, that's a given.
Well, yeah. Well, this year, my sister, the last couple of years, actually, we've kind of catered it, except for the turkey. Like, my sister will get the turkey. She'll prep the turkey and make that and everything. But all the sides we got catered. So this year we did that again.
Where do you get catered from?
This place, it's this Italian place called Ivorone Brothers. Mm-hmm. They're kind of popular here on Long Island. Their original store is in Queens, but they've branched out to the island, and they have a couple of restaurants too that are under their umbrella, I guess. Okay. But we got it from there. But my sister this year, she got this roaster, this like I'd never seen it before, and it's only to like roast turkeys and roasts and everything. Mm-hmm. And it takes like depending on the size of the turkey, it takes like 4 or 5 hours to make. Well, this did it in 2.5. And
that's really fast. It's like frying turkey fast.
I know. And it was really, really good. I was really impressed. Yeah. So that part was really, really excellent. And yeah, it was just cool. It was a less of us. As you know, I have a big family. It was a lot less of us this time, but we had it was a nice day.
Well, it sounds like you enjoyed your Thanksgiving very much.
I did. And we have a guest tonight, guys. We're kind of making this a yearly thing with this person, and he does not like turkey. We went over this last year. So I'm going to bring in Casey now, obviously from Geeks Worldwide. I like to call him the sheriff of Twitter because he's always
sheriff. Oh no! Don't do that.
So Casey, thanks again for coming on, man. How are you? And how was your Thanksgiving minus the turkey? Let's go there.
It was super small, just very quiet. Luckily, kind of just went to my wife. Works at like a big distributor for makeup items, so she had to work. So she had to work till like 3 or 4 o'clock. So we just really hung out at home until she came home, and we went to my mother-in-law's house and had dinner. And then everyone just came home. So it was just a normal night. So nothing crazy or extravagant, which is fine. Again, yeah, turkey sucks. Thanksgiving's lame. Like, I don't know why we put so much emphasis on it. It's a weird holiday.
Sweet potato pie. That's why.
Sweet potato. That's candy. You're just eating candy.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nature's candy. No, is that what they used to say about beets on Doug? It's nature's candy.
Yeah, it's just sugar and more. You're like and they put marshmallows. They just make it even more candy. So yeah, I mean, not a fan of Thanksgiving. So I'm glad it's over. Let's talk about Batman.
You just want to skip over. We're just going to skip over.
No, I mean, we can talk about how much I hate Thanksgiving. I can talk about that for 2 hours. I mean, we can go into how terrible it is, and like its origin is, and how bad. Why do we even do it? I don't know. No one else celebrates. What other countries celebrate Thanksgiving? They don't. They just do it because
they do. Cool. They have their own Thanksgiving. They do. I swear to God.
What are they doing it for?
I don't know. It's in October. I know that. I just know it's in October. That's all I know.
It's a month earlier.
Yeah.
It's just like, I feel like it was like a thing. They're like, man, we have all these turkey farmers and no one buys turkey enough throughout the year. So we have a super supply of turkey. We got to get rid of it. So this is the only way we can get rid of it. So we're going to have this holiday. Like when do you go to when have you ever gone to a restaurant and ordered turkey? Like have you ever gone? Never. It's never happened.
No, but I've cooked turkeys on days other than Thanksgiving. I've smoked a turkey more than once.
Yeah, you're like you cook stuff all the time. You're always trying. Like that's like a thing. Like my mom does that too. Like once in a while she'll cook back turkey and we're having turkey and it's like, all right, mom, like whatever. But
you're right.
I don't know, man. I just turkeys have Thanksgiving and a sandwich. That's it. That's the range that they have.
When Bennigan's was around, I used to order the turkey O'Toole, and it was delicious.
Well, that was he's right about the turkey though, because the only other place I see it on the menu is at diners and stuff. I rarely see turkey on menus outside of the diner. And if there's a Cracker Barrel nearby, maybe they have turkey on the menu. I don't know.
In Hamilton, there's I think it's called Golden Dawn. There's a diner. You mentioned now, it makes me think of it. And they make this amazing, it's not really Thanksgiving, but it's turkey stuffing, mashed potatoes, and it's piled high and it's doused in gravy. And it's it's the most amazing thing in the world. I mean it a handful of times. So I can say I have ordered turkey at a restaurant at least.
Whether it's roast or in a cold cut, that's pretty much it. He's right though. That's pretty much the range turkey has.
Like how many Boston markets are left? None. There's no Boston markets left. They're gone.
There's a couple.
I never even noticed that.
5 in my town. There's one left.
That's true, and there's plenty of chicken places, but there's no turkey places. There's no Kentucky Fried Turkey.
I recently tried Popeyes. That chicken's amazing, by the way.
Remember, if you guys are old enough to remember this. Remember when they tried to stuff turkeys into other things?
Turducken.
Come on, man!
Turkey. Was it a turkey and a duck and a chicken or something like that?
Yes.
No one's stuffing a prime rib into a fucking turkey. No one's stuffing a ribeye into a turkey. It's not happening.
I just might now.
Yeah. That is an idea.
Do it now. I'll go viral on Instagram for sure.
It's ridiculous.
So we're past Thanksgiving. So we're moving past. We're obviously headed towards Christmas. And first, I just want to say Happy Hanukkah to any of our Jewish listeners. We are recording this during Hanukkah, so I want to just say that real quick. Happy Hanukkah to you guys.
I think it's the 4th or 5th night.
Yeah, I believe so. So that's just want to put that out there to all of our Jewish listeners. So happy Hanukkah, guys. So Casey, you know how we do this. We have a rundown. We go through topics. We discuss them. We bounce things off each other. If there's anything you want to add and throw in and and you don't want to tell people what you want to tell people, you can do that too. That's fine. we appreciate that. So I'll start very quickly with...
I'm just going to sit here quietly and nod.
That's fair.
Great. We'll just say Casey's nodding, guys. Don't worry. I'm talking, he's just nodding. So let's start with... I want to start with the trailer that came out today for the new Peacemaker show. That's going to be on HBO Max. So there was... I didn't know it was coming. Casey, you probably do. I didn't know it was coming today. So... when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I have to say, I've never been a huge fan of John Cena as an actor, but in this role, he's perfect. He is so good in this.
I think he's growing, like The Rock wasn't very good either. Like when he started.
Scorpion King, yeah.
Like, we won't forget about, what was the one where he played, the Tooth Fairy? Like, come on.
I do remember that, yes.
Like, the guy, they all have to, go through their hard night. You know what I mean? Because they're wrestlers, so they have to kind of prove themselves. And I think that what that also helps them do is kind of learn, the craft and the trade. And how to do it. And I think he, is really good at this role. It's, very, cynical is not the word. Sarcastic and it kind of makes fun of he's just super right wing dude. There's an Uber MAGA guy who was all about America, and his dad's crazy, and he has an eagle, and you know what I mean. So it's it looks fun, and James Gunn is great with dialogue like that. I think that first clip that they put out with him in the hospital talking to the janitor, that was a great example of the dialogue that they use.
Yeah, I think the show just seems so self-aware of what Peacemaker is and what he's done, and just kind of how douchey he actually is, stuff like that. It's weird because I didn't expect to really enjoy this character as much as I did from the movie, and now translating to this TV show is interesting because he's not really someone you should kind of feel sorry for. You almost feel sympathetic with him at certain parts because you could see the relationship with his father is just weird, right? So,
yes, and his father, of course, is played by the great Robert Patrick.
Yeah, and it's a great mullet, by the way. Fantastic mullet. And there's a lot of that James Gunn humor. So it's this is totally a James Gunn project. It just reeks of James Gunn, which is great. And I'm sure there'll be jokes that he has that I don't like, and there's already some that he already made that landed with me. So I know that's what I know.
The grower, not the show. Grower, not a shower. When you said,
yeah, I like what he did with Vigilante too. He's a super idiot.
Yeah, his suit looks great. I don't know too much about Vigilante. He was in a couple Nightwing stories in the mid 2000s that I remember, and that's really kind of what I'm used to. But it kind of fits with whatever this Peacemaker experience is going to be, because there's going to be a lot of laughs in this. It almost feels like, to me, I said this to a buddy of mine, this kind of feels like Larry David comic book. It's everyone around him is kind of serious, but he's so just extra. He's almost like a caricature of a superhero in this kind of real world setting where everything he does is so extravagant. I attach this grenade to this missile from a tank, and it's he throws it. He's I don't know, I made it this way. It just feels very extra to me. So I think it's kind of cool. Yeah,
it looks great. I was going to say, the plot, my only gripe is the plot. Because I don't remember if the trailer got into this, but basically it's about another creature or alien thing that comes from another place that takes over.
It feels very Suicide Squad 1, right?
Yeah,
it's
very Starro, you know what I mean? The plot, it's about these alien butterflies that control people, and you know what I mean? So it's very the same kind of plot, and you can see that in the trailer, you know what I mean? Why all these people are attacking him, and all these random people are attacking him.
There's some kind of mind control or something going on there. So
yeah, but I don't know. I've heard great things about it. A couple people I know have worked on it and said it was a great experience for them. And I heard how it ends, and it sets up what's next. And that sounds really interesting and intriguing, whether it's another Peacemaker thing, but it sounds like maybe it's the next Suicide Squad movie, or what they're going to do with that group of people next. So, I love everything about Peacemaker. So I definitely be my parents are it's on their my mom keeps
really?
shows to watch, and that's one of them on there. And I would assume that's only because of the movie and John Cena. You know what I mean? They're in their 70s. They're 70-year-old people.
Yeah, so like, that's interesting that your parents at that age are do they watch a lot of comic book stuff, or are they like, why is this specifically on the radar?
See everything, right? But like for that show, like, you know what I mean, to be like something they like are anticipating watching, that's crazy. You know what I mean? I don't think I've like. You know what I mean? That's weird. It's weird. I thought it was weird.
Before that movie, no one knew who Peacemaker was, and that includes myself, and I read tons of comic books. So
right. And again, I think a lot of that is John Cena, right? And
right.
I don't think you get that character. Like originally, that was supposed to be Dave Bautista. So like, I don't know. Like, does that character get his own show? Does that work as well with Dave Bautista behind it? I don't know. John Cena was really like kind of the spot for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you kind of see that kind of quirkiness Bautista has when he plays Drax. So you kind of maybe it might have worked if they did something similar with him as Peacemaker. I don't know, but
you know, I think about Bautista, he's not doing a lot of dialogue in a lot of his roles, right. And like John Cena's like bam bam, like he's quipping, he's like moving quick, like he's exchanging real fast.
He was like that as a wrestler too, you know.
Yeah, and
always running his mouth.
Can't do that. I always thought it was weird. He made a comment, like a backhanded comment, like oh, in Dune, I'm like I had this serious like background, and I'm like this like complex character. And he had one line in the whole movie. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, guy, like, calm down.
We can't talk about Dude. Pete didn't like it. I thought it was boring.
What? Oh, my God.
I wasn't into it. What do we do? It's fine.
My wife liked it. Again, that's another, like, I think it's a movie she watched twice. That and Shang-Chi. She's seen Shang-Chi 5 times. Wow. 5 times. I had to call her on it. I was like, there's something going on here. Like, this is not normal for you. I think she has it in for Simu Liu. Is that what it is?
There you go.
Well, yeah, I really enjoyed that. So it was something. Again, another character I didn't know much about, and I wound up really enjoying the movie. So
I think that was my favorite. That's been my favorite movie of the year. Like, just overall, it's been Shang-Chi.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually going to watch it this weekend, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Pete told me before he came on he's gonna have a Marvel weekend and watch Marvel things.
Yeah, in between work, I'm watching nothing but the MCU stuff I missed out on. So
I mean, between that and Hawkeye, it's been a really good streak. I haven't seen Eternals yet, but I mean,
I have not seen Eternals yet either.
I can't go to a movie theater anymore, guys. Don't have kids. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't have to worry about that.
I liked Eternals, but I understand what the people who saw it who didn't like it. I understand the problems people had with it, so it's fine. It's here. I don't get into arguments about it with people. Not anymore. I try not to anymore because it's just
that's nobody because I haven't seen it yet. Once I see it, we'll get into an argument.
Yes,
about
people.
I have no opinion, so I can't say anything.
Pete is still trying to get me to watch Batwoman, and I refuse to watch
it. It's better than last year.
You know, I think every time I'm scrolling through HBO Max and I see like the little icon, I'm like, oh, nothing else to watch. Nope, I'm still not going to do it. Back to Bravo.
Season 3. Just watch season 3.
Wait, Pete, is Robin Givens in this season? Is that who I'm seeing in the pictures? Okay. Yes. I thought that's who that was, but I'm like, let me double check.
It's not a very good role.
No? Okay.
That's probably one of the worst parts of the season. It's the only thing I trash, really.
Because I saw the picture and I'm like, that looks like her, but she's older now. So I'm like, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, her and the guy who they cast as her son, they're just not doing it. And
all right.
I think he's going to be the new Joker.
How many Jokers we need? I'm so tired. I'm so fucking tired of that character. Like, I'm over it. Like, we're done. Like, how spoil? I guess you guys know this already, but like, I really hope that thing that's happening in the movie that's coming out next year is like a red herring, and that they're gonna change that part because I just do not want to see.
I don't know what any of that means. You're just talking in code now. You're like, I got this information. I can't tell you. I'm going to talk real vaguely, and you're still not going to get the whole thing. I'm like, what's going on here?
Talking about, I don't know. We'll talk about it after the show, maybe.
That's fine. I mean, I try to stay spoiler free as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what's happening to what movie? Please, it's not this one, is it?
I'm tired of the joke. I'm tired of it. Let's move on with our lives. We've seen it enough. Let's try something else, everybody.
So you'd be happy. You would be happy with a Joker-free. If we get a trilogy for Matt Reeves, you'll be fine. I would be
100% happy with a Joker-free Matt Reeves trilogy. Okay. I don't think it's going to happen.
Right. It's hard. It's hard to do Batman with a Joker.
Yeah.
So I would then like have him be like a background character, like doing other things, or like, you know what I mean? Like
they did that in Suicide Squad.
I don't know. Have him do something else. I want like Mr. Freeze, or I want Clayface, or I want like I don't know, somebody else, something else. There's he has the best rogues rally. We're recycling the same like 3 guys all the time.
I'm just happy Oswald's coming back, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pumped. It's been a while since Oswald. So
Penguin. I like Penguin. Like I like the Riddler. Like those are great choices. Like let's keep that ball rolling. Let's not like go back into the same well we've been going back into every single time.
But it's happening. There's no doubt. Like, and you got to feel like if someone's as creative as Matt Reeves, he wants to tackle the Joker himself, right? Like, I feel like it's almost like, you know, like I don't know, being an athlete not winning a championship. Like, you know, it's part of the reason why you do Batman, right? Because you want the Joker as well.
Have him be Blofeld then. Like have him be like the guy behind that, like, you know what I mean, behind everything. That's been there's always been these murders happening. There's like crazy murders, or there's crazy shit happening, like it's unexplainable, and then like have that be like, you know what I mean? Batman's always chasing this thing, but then like, oh, there's this bigger like threat that's coming, and then he gets sidetracked, and then like, you know what I mean? And then have the Joker be somehow involved in both. I don't know, like. I just can't have another like thing of like him just being the center of attention all the time. Like we get it, dude. Like we get it. Let's do something else, please. Please, God.
All right.
You heard it here first, guys. Casey does not want the Joker.
I don't
at all.
I don't. I think I said it on Twitter too. I'm over it.
I'm sure you have. The real question is, what haven't you said on Twitter?
Don't talk about my kids. I don't talk about my wife.
That's true.
Mostly because nobody cares.
Well, you should. That's not stuff you want to talk about.
No.
Keep the personal stuff personal. You don't need to.
They fight dirty sometimes. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Global phenomenon.
Let's hop into this. I was gonna wait, but let's do this now because I saw the movie. I was late seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I saw it last week.
Oh, that's it.
And okay, so Pete, we'll talk about this. We'll try and keep it.
Oh, you can spoil it. I don't care. You're not gonna upset me anyways. I think I already know what happens and the ending and all that stuff, so you're good.
So this movie, I have to say, I wasn't as excited for it as other people. I did like the first Ghostbusters. I hated the second film. So
really, you hate Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I didn't like Ghostbusters 2 at all. So when I went to see this, I liked how they were. I liked what I heard about the story. I liked what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And man, this movie is great. Like it is a great movie. I enjoyed it so much. It took me back to that when I was a kid. Having all the older characters don't come in until the end. Like it's very, very much. The buildup is there and everything there, and Paul Rudd's great and everything, so he's good in this. Oh, there we go. Pete's guys, you can't see it, but Pete has a Slimer figure that he just showed to the camera.
Pete just Slimer, everybody.
Yes. So he's not in it, but something kind of like him is in it.
He's not, and to be honest, him not being in it didn't bother me as much as I thought. Yeah, no. Like I didn't think about it, but I was like, wow, Slimer wasn't in this movie. And I'm not pissed off.
Right.
Like that's how good this movie is. Like he's literally the only character from the original movies who isn't in it. For me, this is like the greatest piece of nostalgic entertainment ever. It really is. Like for a while, it was like Jurassic World. I really liked Jurassic World, and it really brought me back to that first movie. But this one was like, oh man, there were just so many like. When Phoebe pulls out the crunch wrapper from the jumpsuit, like I lost it. I just did. And there's so many great references, and it's that the character Phoebe was wonderful. Her whole family was. I thought the character of Lucky, I think that's her name. She was just kind of like a waste. She didn't really serve a purpose in the movie, but
yeah, she
was like the only kind of like worthless character almost because she did like nothing except for like be like a slight love interest for Mr. Wolfhard. It was just wonderful. I cried multiple times during that stupid movie.
Well,
it was just
definitely
great. Everything
the
about
end.
it.
How like scary is it? Is it like scary? No,
it's in tone with the other two Ghostbusters movies. It's not,
I'm scared.
I don't think anyone could possibly get scared in this movie.
Okay,
no.
I just say my kids love the other one, even like the last like the last one.
Okay.
So.
No.
My kids are weird. They wear like weird shit. My little one is really weird. She's super goth, and she talks about like my wife's not here, so I can't say this, but like I'm always like, dude, this kid's gonna be so goth, and she gets so mad. She's like, shut up, she's not gonna be goth. Dude, she's so goth. Like this kid is like
one of the kids from South Park.
Yeah, she loves dark stuff. Like she likes she likes talking about like weird stuff. Like she's just weird. She's just a weird kid.
All right. Well,
yeah, definitely.
She likes dark stuff. She like Batman.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not scary. It wasn't to me. I didn't think it was scary at all.
No.
It is the one complaint people have about it is that the story's similar to the original one, and it is. Yes and no, but the main parts of it are there, so that part is kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you got
but
Shandor and Gozer and stuff like that. So like it's but I think that's what it's supposed to be. I think it's
right. Like everyone said the same thing about The Force Awakens, and yes, Force Awakens is very similar, obviously, to A New Hope. They're very, very similar, and this is kind of the same. Like you kind of get that kind of story, very similar beats.
But to be honest, I want that after I did not like Ghostbusters 2016, Answer the Call. Didn't like it at all, and which still drives me crazy because everyone involved in that movie is a comedic genius. I don't like it. I can't stand it. And to have this nostalgic thing just come out a few years later, pandemic involved, it just really like I was like, oh, okay, so this is going to be like Batman Begins and Batman and Robin. Like I can go back and watch that Paul Feig Ghostbusters movie and I won't hate it as much, like I can kind of tolerate it. So I'm looking forward to actually rewatching it at some point.
Yeah, that movie was okay to me. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I understood what they were trying to do, where they were trying to go with it. So that movie to me, but I don't like when I watched Afterlife, I didn't even think about that movie. That movie's completely different to me. It's not even part of the same, like, I guess trilogy now, right? This Afterlife would be considered the third of those three. So yeah,
I'm just happy Bill Murray decided to do it. I feel like he was the guy who was constantly.
Apparently, you just have to call a phone and he'll just show up to things.
But him and like Ramis got into like fights years ago, and like I don't know if they made up or whatnot, but like it kind of held back the movie. And I enjoyed the video game. I don't know if either of you guys played it. That was like considered the de facto third movie.
I remember that,
for so long, and I thought that was a lot of fun. So. As long as Aykroyd's involved, I feel like it's written with a lot of heart, right? Like I feel like he was involved in this too.
I still want the one where they go to hell, and they like
that was the original third one, right?
That was the original second one, and then they're like, this is gonna cost like $200 million, dude. I don't think so.
Yeah, nowadays that probably would have got made.
Yeah.
Maybe they could still do it.
It would be cool. I would definitely. So, Casey, if you get a chance, definitely go see it because it's.
I know this is gonna sound terrible, but like the best thing about the pandemic was I got to watch every movie when it came out, and I got like screeners for every movie. They would send them like so you could watch them at home instead of having to go to a movie theater. And then as soon as like the inkling of a movie theater like opened up, they're like, we're not doing that anymore. It's like, oh man, now I can't watch this. I can't go to a movie theater now. It's too hard.
Some wonderfully fresh popcorn. Soda.
Man. Anybody watch my kids for the weekend? Anybody out there?
I lived out there. I would. I've been around kids all my life, so it would not be an issue for me.
I always laugh. I'm like, my wife's like, the kids are gonna get, like women worry about things like people getting kidnapped and shit. I'm like, dude, as soon as the kidnapper got that girl alone for like 5 minutes, he would bring her back. There's no way that no one is keeping her. It's not happening. Like as soon as it's just like, chill, she'll be fine.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Let's not.
No, I'm just joking. She's a wonderful child. I love her.
I could see it. All
right. So there's been some recent news in the Bat universe, or the Batverse, however you want to say it. I don't care. So first, let's talk about we heard a little from J.K. Simmons talking about Batgirl. Mm-hmm. He did a little bit of snippet. He didn't really say much. Obviously, he said where they were shooting and
we're talking about the interview where people said he said Ben.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I want to get your reaction to that.
He like fucking.
I was waiting. He's like, and I was like, he said he was going to say Ben. Ben Affleck's in the Batgirl movie. I'm like, oh, I was like, here we go again. At the time, you remember when he took a picture of the cowl? That was it. Confirmed.
Saw people like breaking down the audio file and like the pitch and the cut, and they're like, yeah, it's definitely cut here. Like, you definitely cut. It's like, oh, okay. He could have said Brendan. Like, there, you know what I mean? Like, there's a million things he could have said. Like, but I don't know. It could have been like, yeah, or it could have been said nothing. Like, it was so overblown. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, God.
I did
the entire time now. Like,
I did enjoy how he was like, this gives me a chance to. He made it seem like he's thankful to get a chance at like redemption. Like, he specifically said, he's like, oh, this is going to be more significant than the first time I did this. I'm like, that's good. You deserve it. You're a good actor. So
you know what he also said in the very before the bullet part, right before the bullet part, he also said, oh, the original plan was to have everybody come back and like play these roles, but that's not the plan anymore. So like, okay, well. Gal's coming back, and Jason's coming back, and Ezra's coming back. Well, that only leaves 2 people left. So, like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Yeah. You're preaching to the choir here.
Yep, to the choir.
We moved on in 2017.
Like, I don't hate, and don't get me wrong, I don't hate Ben. Like, of course he could make a great Batman movie. Of course he could do it all, but like. How long are we to hold on to these actors playing these roles? And I honestly blame the fucking MCU for this. Like, I really do. Like, it's their fault. It's Robert Downey Jr.'s fault for this, all of this. Because people now expect these people to play this stuff forever and ever and ever. And, like, that's never been the case. Like, you know what I mean? Keaton did 2 movies, and he's, like, still revered as the iconic Batman. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take, they don't have to be Batman for 20 years.
Yeah, he's not Hugh Jackman, right? Like, he's not playing Wolverine.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Hugh Jackman. I always forget about fucking X-Men movies. Like, I did that the other day, too. We were talking about costumes.
Continuity issues.
He's the dude, though. Like, that's the one guy in our lifetime that's played him. It's only been him.
They they recast Magneto and Professor X at some point, too. Like, you know, Jackman's the only guy to actually play it straight through.
I know. So that's the one guy, and that's probably you're right. That's probably where it comes from now. Like you said, Robert Downey, but of course, Jackman as well.
Like and Ben Affleck is not that guy. Like he's never been that guy.
Yeah, he's never even had a solo movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised like they got him back for the Flash, and like you know what I mean. And I just don't see him coming back for like a Batgirl, and then what's next, and then what's next, and then like oh he's doing this, and then he's doing like.
It is interesting how, like, I feel like for years we've heard he's quit, he's done, he hates it, he never wants to put that suit on again. But then every so often he's like, I don't know if he just needs money, but he's like, all right, I'll do this. It always seems like a reluctant get, you know? It's like, all right, I lost a lot of money on this.
Yeah, but this time he didn't for the Flash, wasn't there like a big thing where he wrote like his stuff for the script and like
I have no idea.
I don't think that.
Was that reported? I don't even remember that.
I think it was. Yeah, I think that was the original report, right? That he
got a copy of the script first, and then he kind of gave notes, I guess, and did some rewrites and said he changed a couple things. I don't know if that's what made the film.
It's funny because it's like you've never made a good Batman movie. We're gonna let you change it. I guess the power of Hollywood and being a great filmmaker.
And then, so like you don't do that, like you know what I mean? If they're like. You're gonna do that let him do that for every movie. You know what I mean? Like that's like, all right, well, this is the last time. Like, we'll let you write your out. You know what I mean? Or we'll let you have notes on how you're like gonna say goodbye or whatever. And like that, I get that, but like, I don't know. I just want it to be over with. Like I'm tired of like.
I'm tired of this era, man. I'm with you.
I'm so over it. I'm so over every time we talk about the DC whatever. It has to we have to talk about the Snyder shit. And like I'm like done. Like it was 2.5 or okay, it was 3 movies, I guess. So like 3 movies. Like I don't know. I guess we still talk about Keaton, so I guess it's not totally fair to say that. But like I don't think we talk about it in the same way. Like, I think people are okay with moving on from Keaton.
No, because I feel like there's a lot of false hope when it comes to that Snyder stuff. You know, people are. You know, I think they follow the wrong people. I think they're listening to the wrong people. You know, I don't think they're I don't think they're getting the most accurate information. So I think that's part of it. Whereas like, someone like Keaton, it's more or less you're just kind of respecting what happened. Whereas like the Snyder stuff is just like, it's just false hope to me. Like you guys are just building stuff up to let yourself down.
And it's been so long since Keaton played Batman. Like that's the cool part about this one, right? Like he's coming back after all these years to play a role, and he's almost 70, right?
Yeah.
So like
that's what I mean. The Ben Affleck in Batgirl people have a point. Like J.K. Simmons there, like the Flash logo and the Batgirl logo, Gotham City logo look the same. Like Keaton's 70, like what's he gonna do? Like the guy's old.
Unless it's just the whole multiverse thing. If they want to just say that Gordon looks like the Gordon from the Snyderverse, or whatever. I don't know, but we'll see. I imagine that the Flash is going to mix things up. And does this movie comes out after that? Correct?
Yeah.
So they said 2022. That's all they've said so far. And the Flash comes out in November. So that puts it in December. If it comes out after the Flash, that puts it in December.
Okay,
and that seems like a tight window if they're still shooting in January, or you know what I mean. January, what's after January? February. So you know what I mean. They're shooting now, right? They just started last week. So here's how the shooting schedule will break down. I'll tell you guys. So they started shooting last week. So they'll shoot this week. They'll shoot 2 more weeks. They'll take off the week of Christmas. Probably take off that whole week.
Right.
They'll take off half a week or a few days, maybe a full week for New Year's too. So they'll probably maybe take off 2 weeks till New Year's, till after New Year's.
So they shut down for like a month.
Yeah. Well, no, probably 2 weeks. They'll probably shut down for 2 weeks, week and a half maybe, and then they'll come back in January, and then they're shooting for January, at least February, maybe into March. So there's no way this movie's coming out in 2022. How like that gives you 7 months for post effects.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But I don't know. I expect the Flash to reorganize the multiverse or whatever. That's the rumor. It's supposed to change things, right? Like the big rumor is like Sasha Calle replaces Cavill and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens by the end of that movie. But I don't care who's Batman in this thing, as long as he doesn't look like the Batman in Gotham. I'm all for it. Like, to be brutally honest, like it could be any Batman. It could be Clooney's Batman for all I care. I just want a solid product. I just want a solid Batgirl story. That's
what if he's not even in it? What if we're just like saying he's never even shown up?
If they can break out Val Kilmer's like blue Batmobile and just drive it by, and that's Batman in that show, then so be it. Like,
didn't Leslie Grace say like he's like off doing stuff? Like she kind of indicated like, oh, maybe he's not even there.
That's Batwoman.
No, I think Leslie Grace said it in an interview too. Wait, is Leslie Grace Batwoman?
No, that's basically why Batwoman exists, because Bruce Wayne's MIA.
Yeah. So, but no, she said that in an interview. I think she like early on.
Okay.
She's like, oh, he's like off doing stuff. He's like not there.
So that'd be like one of those scenes where we see him get on his jet off like Wayne Aerospace or whatever, and he flies to Turkey. For business.
Like, why hide it? If this comes out before the Flash, right? Say it's some miracle that comes out before the Flash, and it is Batfleck. Like, what do you gain from keeping that a secret? Like, there's no. Obviously, it's Bat. Like, that would be obvious at this point, right? Like,
because they're doing it to annoy you, and they don't listen to the logic.
Like, there seems to be a reason they haven't like told you why, like, what Batman is in this movie yet, when they've casted everyone else around it. You know what I mean? Like they're all like overlooking the fact that like Barry has a completely different dad in the next movie, and like I don't know, I just want to be over. Can we just like fast forward to when
as far as I'm concerned, it ended in 2017.
Well, let's be happy that we're getting obviously the Batman in March, right? So we're getting this movie that looks incredible by everything we've seen so far. At least to me, it looks very, very good. And Zoe Kravitz actually spoke about Robert Pattinson in a recent article about how great he was and how that he really transformed into the character. I still am waiting to see how good he's going to be in the role. He's a very talented guy though, so I have all the confidence he's going to be great. But
I don't know how I feel about the voiceover.
That's always seems to be an issue with Batman. All the Batman movies, there's always some kind of.
I don't want him to like narrate. Like I don't need him narrating everything.
Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that. I thought it'd be interesting because I feel like we haven't really seen a movie like that, so I thought that would be cool.
Yeah,
his voice doesn't bother me. I mean, I think look, from those two trailers, that guy's really won me over. I've never seen any of these Twilight movies. I've never seen a movie with Pattinson in it. So like when all these like glowing vampire memes were everywhere, I had no idea what the hell was going on. I'm like, what is this? This guy's Batman. Why does he look so pale? But then I found out. But I don't know. It looks really intense. It looks like a very interesting take on the character. It gives me a lot of vibes to like Keaton, whereas I felt like Keaton was Batman all the time, even when he was Bruce Wayne.
I just hope it goes like the Keaton route, though. You know what I mean? Like again, I love Cobblepot. I love what they're doing with the Riddler, but like let's do Mr. Freeze. Let's get fantastical. Let's do something. I don't think
crazy. You're going to see that from Reeves.
I know.
I know. If you see Mr. Freeze, it'll be what he's done with the Riddler. He's not going to be like this professor who falls into a vat of antifreeze and comes out of silver. I think it'll be way more grounded than that.
You know, maybe like he has like a fucking cold virus or something. I don't know, but like you know what I mean. Like it like always like keeps his temperature. Like
yeah, like I can see something like that. But like I don't know.
It grounds it. I just want to see something like let's get crazy. You know what I mean? Let's like. You know,
it's interesting because like I'm sitting here like, oh, Reeves is going to do something fantastical. It's like, well, those two Apes movies, like Talking Apes, is fantastical.
Yeah,
but he did ground. It's weird. Like he's a real artist. Like he knows his craft. Like that's why it's like if this guy can do that. Like, and I like Cloverfield with the camera shaking the whole time. I don't see the monster. You know, it's this weird POV thing. Like, I like Matt Reeves' movies, so it's like until he makes a bad one, I don't think this is going to be his first dud. So I'm just like,
it looks amazing.
Like, I trust the filmmaker.
Yeah,
everything about it looks wonderful.
And he's such a big fan of Batman. He's a Batman fan, so like he probably wants to get this right more than the other guys who did it, I would assume, because everyone knows that he was such a big fan of the character. So like everything we hear about it, every time this little news comes out, every little snippet we get, obviously the cast needs to talk about it to hype it up, but after the last trailer and then you hear them, they keep talking every time they're mentioned, they're always asked. It just sounds like everyone involved seems to really, really like it.
I just pray to God he doesn't kill anybody, and then I can just be like, see, you can do it. It can be done.
You know that if he does kill somebody, they're all going to come out of the woodwork and be like, he did it too. Well, he didn't kill everybody. I'm like, oh God, I'm so tired of this.
When he beats the crap out of that guy in the first trailer, I mean, that was kind of like, okay, that's pretty damn like.
Yeah, but then they started making Oreos out of him, and I was like, oh, this movie's definitely going to be PG-13.
So yeah,
once you get an Oreo Lego set, like no one's you're not gonna have a lot of bloodlust involved.
Yeah, man. So so
that's
obviously
what they thought in 92. And then he was black goo everywhere and letters to McDonald's, and then you get Batman Forever. So cause and effect.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So as we know, let's move on to another topic that Pete found actually. So and I read the article, interview with John Bernthal, who plays Richard Macy in King Richard. Did anyone see King Richard here besides me?
I have not. No.
Okay. Casey's like, why would I watch that movie? Well, as a fan of the Williams sisters, the story interests me. I usually watch Will Smith movies just because he usually gives at least a good performance. So I'm like, I'll give this a shot.
Oh, that movie. Whenever someone says King Richard, I think it's like, oh, it's a Shakespeare thing. I keep forgetting it's that fucking Venus Williams movie.
Yeah, he said Shakespeare. Yeah, you heard that correctly.
That's a terrible name for that movie, by the way.
Well,
I know, but it's a great movie. I understand. It's good.
If you watch it, you realize that's why they call him that.
I know.
He basically was the king. He
sounds like a wonderful man.
And yeah, well, that was the interesting thing about the film is that you hear all this stuff about him when he was raising them, when they were starting to grow up and play, and how hard he was and how tough. And he really just had a plan, and he wasn't like forcing things on them. At least they don't show that. Like you don't see that part in the film.
No, and I don't know if it's in the movie, but like there's like an interview that was going around me, like someone was passing around me, like, see, he's like, and again, like I would like love for my daughters to call me King Casey. Like, when I couldn't pay them $1 million for that. So like, obviously he was doing something right, but there's this clip going around where like one of the sisters is doing an interview and the reporter asks like, are you like, do you feel confident? Are you sure? Like in a kind of a condescending way. And she's like, yeah, I do. And he like asks again. And he like, the dad like steps in and is like, dude, she already told you.
Yep.
Like, stop. Like, this is a girl. Like a little girl we're talking about. Like, stop like trying to like make her doubt herself. It's like, oh, okay. I get it. Like, he's not like a stage dad. You know what I mean? He's like trying to do right by them and make sure they're not like exploited by the system and all that stuff.
Yeah, he definitely wanted them to be kids. Like, there's a scene in the movie where their coach, actually John Bernthal, who plays their coach, they're supposed to practice twice a day. And one day he gets up in the morning, goes to the court, and they're like, where are they? Go, well, they're not here. Because he took them to Disneyland. So like he stepped in and is like, no, they need to be kids too. So he took them to Disneyland while they were supposed to be practicing. So you kind of get that. You kind of get that in the film, but the article about Bernthal, he talks about how he learned how to play tennis for the role, but he also talks about the character we've gotten to know him for in the MCU, which is of course Frank Castle's The Punisher, and he kind of goes there's a little insight into who Bernthal was, because he said that the character resonated with him, and it brought him back to a time when he was in dark places in his life. And if you know the Frank Castle character, that's pretty damn dark, right? Like he's that's a pretty dark space to be in. Frank. So it's interesting to hear that, but he said that there hasn't been any discussions about it, but he only would play the Punisher again in this universe if it was done right, and you'd have to keep it in the dark space that it's in.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah, right?
Never gonna happen.
I haven't seen season 3 of Punisher. It's on my to-do list. I've watched the first 2 seasons and I really like it a lot. And if he wants to, there's no way they're going to let him do what they did on Netflix. I don't even know how they're going to handle Deadpool, much as how they would handle Punisher.
That.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. Like, but Deadpool you can do like in a funny way. You know what I mean? At least you can add like you can make it like hearted. Like, the Punisher is just a guy going around just murdering people, like in a place where like that is not like okay by anybody's standards. So like I don't know how you mean he's a villain in that universe through and through. Like there's no kind of justifying what he does. You know what I mean? Like he's not Captain America. He's not a soldier. He's not fighting a war. Like he's not fighting other soldiers. Like, you know what I mean? He's like going around just taking like the law into his own hands. And like I don't think any of those characters are going to be okay with that.
I don't even know how like Disney would handle Alien. Like now that they own Fox, you know, like there's so many questions about so many things.
Show coming out.
I'm not sure. Nothing I know.
Show. They were gonna Predator show.
Yeah, interesting.
It's called Prey. It's about a predator hunting like a Native American like tribe or a Native American like warrior or something.
I can get into that. That'd be awesome.
Set in that time. And it's done by Disney and Hulu.
Wow. Okay, I'll check that out. That sounds interesting.
It looks cool.
But yeah, just. Punisher is just I can't see them dumbing it down to the point of
it doesn't seem like, and Bernthal even doesn't seem like he wants to do it if they try to do that. Like he wouldn't want to be.
And it's interesting. He said there's no communication. Like I wonder, like, is that mean for everyone involved in the Netflix universe, right? Because everyone's speculating.
If you believe set picks.
Oh, I know that for a fact. I mean, Charlie Cox is coming back. Everybody can just swallow that pill right now.
Oh, it is?
It's happening.
Yes,
absolutely. It's not a secret. Like this is, well kind of known at this point. Like,
really,
I would expect to see him in maybe another Disney Plus show starring a green female character.
Okay, that would make sense. That would make sense.
So it'd be the perfect place to introduce or reintroduce him.
Like that, what I've heard about that show, like hard comedy, straight comedy.
She-Hulk,
like
wow,
like meant to be extremely funny. Like she looks at the camera and talks directly to Kevin Feige, like in the show. Like that's part of like her like shtick.
Wow.
Yeah.
So breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. So like
fish out of water type thing because she's not used to her powers or what?
I don't know how much. Oh man, how much do we want to talk about this? Let's just say, from what I heard, it just sounds like a straight like courtroom comedy. Like it sounds very like what they're doing with the Abomination is very weird and like quirky. I think people are gonna be very pissed about because it's definitely like they're being funny and they're treating this in a very like lighthearted manner, and how they turn that to I'll say this because I reported on that, how they turn that to something like a Planet Hulk or not Planet Hulk, World War Hulk or World War Hulks with an S, hint is going to be interesting because that can be a very like dark, dreary story if you want to. I mean, you're essentially having all these super strong, super powerful beings like in a war with each other. So how do you transfer that like She-Hulk, which is this very like super comedy, into something that could be much more serious and grand, like scale and size and big? Don't sleep on She-Hulk, everybody. I'm just going to tell you, everybody.
I'm pumped for it. No. There's definitely nobody on this show sleeping on She-Hulk.
I heard about She-Hulk today. Fire.
It's the Disney Plus show I've been waiting for. Like they've all been good, and Falcon and Winter Soldier has my heart. That's my favorite. But She-Hulk is definitely the one I've been anticipating the most, just because I'm dying to see Jen Walters on the screen.
It sounds crazy. Like I don't know how I would love to hear the budget of it.
Because it's interesting because, like, I feel like you could She-Hulk. She's gone through many incarnations, various versions, and I think this courtroom comedy thing can really work. I feel like there's a She-Hulk out there that's been written that way. You know, she's not as serious sometimes as people make her out to be.
Dan Slott's run. Remember, he did a big run on She-Hulk.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
I pretty much like all Slott's stuff except for Spider-Man.
So is it funny like Deadpool fourth wall funny where?
Well, it's not gonna be R-rated, but yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be like a super, like fast comedy.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, even Abomination, they're kind of like doing something very weird and quirky about it. At least if what I heard is true. I mean, my information could be totally wrong, but essentially they're gonna be they're building to, like I said, a Hulk's like kind of gathering. Yeah, and so the plot is going to be centering around more of these creatures, more Hulks emerging, and so go buy your Hulk figures.
Well, didn't we also recently learn that they have the Hulk rights again? Or did I?
Yes,
that's my article.
That was your article. Yes, see, I knew it. I knew it.
So I'm assuming, right? If they're doing a Hulk's movie, then they have to have or they made some deal, or they have to have the rights back. So I heard that in I don't remember what day. I think I said 2023 that there was a Hulk movie that's supposed to go into production. So it would be
Thank God, it's been far too long. Too long.
Yeah, and then She-Hulk is supposed to literally lead right into that.
Okay.
Into that movie. So I'm sure.
Are any of these Disney Plus shows going to get a season 2?
Yes. Well, Loki's getting a season 2.
No, Loki. Okay. They already said.
Okay.
I think that what they'll do for I think Agatha is technically Wanda season 2.
Yep.
What else? What else are they doing?
Well, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye probably. Would they do Kate Bishop by herself? I could see them doing Hawkeye because I don't think Jeremy Renner is going anywhere, and I think that have you guys been watching Hawkeye?
I have, yeah.
Eric has. I'm behind.
It's so good.
It is good.
I think it's one of the better of the Disney Plus shows that they've done so far. Like it's been consistently good. It feels much more of a TV show.
Yes.
Than the rest of them, which I don't think it hurts it at all. No. But it's been excellent. I'm going to wonder what they do because it's going to go on past Christmas, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they released it during the Christmas season is helping it, obviously. It's very fresh in everyone's mind. Yeah, it's in New York. Like, it's very, 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 very good. Very good. And I mean, it's cool to see Jeremy Renner doing things as in his own show and not being just part of the Avengers. Yeah, it was very cool to see him as Hawkeye in this role.
So. Well, I love his art too. Like he's like, he has a brand, like she's right. He has a branding issue. Like he's like, no one wants to be like the normal guy with the bow and arrow, and like he's going deaf. So there's like that too. He's like trying to learn sign language. So like, and then you have this villain, or I'm gonna use villain in quotes, that also is deaf and uses sign language. So like, oh wait, well, so this is going to be an obvious, like they're going to find like some middle ground here. And then we have like this overarching villain who we all kind of figured out. at this point. That's going to be popping in. That's going to be very exciting. I think they're like handling that way better than all these other shows did. Like, I don't know. I think they've all been good, but I think like they haven't done enough, right? Like I think what WandaVision was nice, but it was too like why didn't other characters show up? Like where was, I'm not saying Mephisto, but like why didn't we get like Reaper or you know what I mean other people? Like we got nothing. You know what I mean? I feel like if you're gonna have these TV shows, like that's what you should be using them for. Like bring in these characters and then expand on them. And I think Hawkeye's been doing a good job of that too. Like we got the Mafia, you got Echo, and you got the other guy that's gonna, I keep like tiptoeing around things. The other guy that's gonna show up, you got Swordsman, like this random, like no nothing character, like you know what I mean. All in the first 3 episodes, they have all these, and then Kate, they've had all these people show up, and I just like, why can't the other shows do this? Like you know what I mean? Like what we have in like Falcon the Winter Soldier, we had Flag Smasher and evil Captain America, right? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We had a U.S. agent and what's her name? I forgot her name.
And it's going to be interesting to see how that ties in to this show too, with what we found out in Black Widow and at the end of the end credits.
Oh yeah, and then you have the ending Black Widow, like her, like that person's supposed to show up. Like fuck, like, and this is supposed to be the tiny little grounded one.
I know.
It's done the most. Like I feel like it's done the most for the character and for like kind of the like overall like connections of everything.
Yeah, Pete, when you watch Black Widow, you'll see what we're talking about because
I'll let you know.
Yeah, that this is all. It all ties in to Hawkeye in some way.
How do you run a comic book podcast and not watch any of this shit?
It's I watch a lot of the CW stuff. It's not because I'm not watching it. It's just I haven't had time to get to it. I've been watching a lot of other things.
See, I watch the movies. Pete watches the TV shows. We're not on the same page.
I watch everything. I'm spoiled. There's a lot of content out there.
There is a lot.
It's tough to get it all in there.
There is a lot to watch.
I just watch Bravo.
I'm watching Batwoman. I got to catch up on the Flash is back. I got to catch up on that. Like everyone hates the CW. Everyone hates the CW.
I can't. I tried. I give everything a shot, and I was like, I can't anymore.
Me too. That's what I said. I tried, man. I used to watch them when they first came out. I liked them, but now, man, I don't know if I just got older and
they just go on too long. Like 2-3 seasons.
The fact that it's been around for 8 years is pretty impressive.
We gotta get off the air, buddy. Like Grant Gustin's gonna be playing that role. He's like gonna be 55, like a walker.
They were gonna cancel the show by the time Miller's movie came out, but I don't think that's happening.
I think they will. I think next year is gonna be last year, and it'll end just because right? Because technically it would end in the summer of next year.
Yeah.
So I think next season's be the last one.
Let's see. I don't know.
Done.
So speaking of Disney Plus shows, we're obviously talking about Hawkeye. Another one in the Star Wars universe that's coming out, of course, is Ahsoka. And they just added another casting, Ivana Sakno. Is that how you say her name? Sorry.
Sure.
Yeah. She's been cast opposite Rosario Dawson, who obviously, of course, is playing Ahsoka. Now,
is she Sabine?
That's the rumor. The rumor is that she's going to be playing Sabine Wren, who, if you watched Rebels, everyone knows who she is. And
Rebels was your jam, right?
Yes, I've liked all.
So is Sabine a Mandalorian?
Yes, she's from Mandalore. She kind of leaves.
I forgot they explained this in the show. Never mind. I was going to ask you, why does she take her helmet off all the time?
Eric's so happy to be talking about Eric's stuff. I can't tell. Like he's so happy to talk about this Star
She's
stuff.
from Mandalore, and she kind of escapes, and then she winds up going back to get the black saber, and the whole thing goes from there. And the black saber obviously was also part of the Mandalorian. We heard about it there. So
that's the coolest effect I've ever seen in a TV show.
Right?
It's so cool. They did it so well.
Yeah.
What's his name? Moff Gideon. I don't know about that guy, but everything else about that black saber, I just don't like. I never believed the Empire's villainy. Like, this guy is not doing shit around here. Are you kidding me? Like, this is the guy they put in charge. Like, yeah, he's a big talk, but like, really, he's gonna go up against Pedro Pascal in like armor. Like, what is he, like $125? Like, come on.
Yeah, but he's that guy. He always plays bad guys.
I know, he's so good.
Yeah, he's always so good.
I just feel like they're all this, like, they're all like no one, like the Empire's like, they're so like, I don't want to say this, they're like bodyist. Like, they always like every Empire person is like 5'10", like 130, or 150 max. Like, you know what I mean? There's no like body ranges. Even the women, they're all like the same like height and size.
Except Vader, right? He's the only.
Yeah, but that's because he's a fucking robot, man.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Remember, right. You know how Kim Jong-un doesn't let anyone have the same haircut? Like, Darth Vader's like, no big people.
I have to be the biggest. That's it.
No one over 5'2". No one over 5'10".
Well, I know, like, Grand Moff Tarkin obviously was scary. He wasn't scary, but he was just, like, he was so evil that he was just a scary being. But you're right. The Moff Gideon is not, that guy plays villains all the time, but he's not as menacing if you see him and hear him. It's very, very much. But, yeah, so Ahsoka, I can't wait for Ahsoka. I mean, it's so long overdue, this character, for me. So it's kind of cool that we're getting her and they're fleshing out the cast. And they're going to tie it to, obviously, Rebels. The rumors.
Did they cast Ezra yet?
Well, that's the rumor, is that's who she's looking for. That's who Ahsoka is looking to find.
How old would Ezra be at this point?
I don't know.
Like
I'm not sure.
It's like Star Wars. What is it?
I'm not sure. Sorry, Pete.
So,
but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess by the end of Rebels, he was what, 15, 16? He looked kind of that age, 16, 17. So now I don't know. Sabine, the woman they cast as Sabine, they were around the same age, and she's not that old.
When's this show coming out?
So when is this?
Oh my god, what year is it now?
21.
It'll probably be 2023.
Oh, so this is a while away.
I haven't been shot yet, I don't think.
Maybe the end of next year, but
maybe.
They're really hyping it up, huh?
It's a March production start date, so.
Oh, no way. Yeah, 2023 for sure.
It'll be the following, yeah. So, but hey, I'm amped for it.
Well, they had Rangers, right?
Well, yeah, that too. But they're redoing it.
Gina Carano.
That's the other news we heard.
Eric, does this make up for the whole Patty Jenkins fallout?
Oh, for Rogue Squadron?
Yeah. Like, are you happy about this now that you're getting your Jenkins movie?
What fallout? Like, I don't understand why everyone's making a big deal about it. She's still, like, it's not like it can't. They said, no, you're not doing it. They said, like, you're busy. Like, we'll come back to this later. Like, I don't, like...
It sounds like there's creative differences.
They all have that. You know what I mean? Like...
But Star Wars has gotten rid of people that's happened, like Lord and Miller,
just say that then. Like well, it's same thing with Rain too. It's like,
yeah,
is he coming back? Like, what's happening here? Because it doesn't sound like he's coming back. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not, then just say he's not.
Right.
And that's and granted, I know there's like people who hate Kathleen Kennedy for just because she's a woman. Probably,
she gets a lot of hate. This Kathleen Kennedy on Twitter, I'm like
crazy.
Like,
all right, calm down.
It's hate. No way.
It's the same thing with Anne Sarnoff. Like, really? Like, this is weird. Like, you guys are weird. And the problem is, like, again, like the numbers don't back it up, right? Because she had like 3 movies that made like $1 billion each, and The Mandalorian and all this other shit. It's like they all love and is wildly successful, and she all like was in charge of too. But you're mad because of like one movie and like a one character. I don't know, whatever. Fucking idiots. Anyways, oh my god, I hate them so much. Like those geeks and gamers dudes. Like fuck. Like just please, like just walk off a long pier. Like we're done. Like we're over it. Like stop. No one believes you anymore.
Yeah, man. Like. The stuff they're doing in Star Wars now, how they're exploring other parts of it that were never touched before, that's all great stuff. And she gets no credit because everyone credits Dave Filoni, who probably does deserve the majority of it, but she's still involved. Like she
hired him.
Process. Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just happy we're getting all new Star Wars content. Like I've said many times, after the prequels came out, I never thought we were going to get Star Wars stuff again. So, the fact
is the next Star Wars thing? Oh, Boba Fett comes out in December.
Yeah, Boba Fett.
Oh, it should be like any week now. I should just screen her soon.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Like one episode of fucking Disney.
And then they'll end it on the cliffhanger, and you're like, damn, I have to wait now.
Oh my god, the worst. This doesn't sound like a total like what's it called? Like not white people problem, but like third world problem. Like first world problem. That's what it is, not a third world problem. This is a total like first world, like no one gives a shit like problem. But like, so Netflix will give you screeners like a month or two in advance, or some people will give you like screeners like way in advance, and they'll give you like 1 or 2 or 3 episodes. So then you watch those 3, and then you have to wait like not only do you have to wait a month, but then you have to wait the extra 3 or 4 weeks to catch up to like the whole episodes that are on TV. So it's not as glamorous as you make it out, everybody. It's not as cool as you think.
Got to wait you forget about it.
Yeah. Anyways, nobody cares.
I'm glad I have patience. Like everyone was like bum rushing the internet the other day to get Spider-Man. I'm like, Spider-Man, the movie's coming.
Yeah,
you'll get tickets. Like, what are you so like freaking out? This isn't like a limited quantities thing. This is a movie. Like, relax.
I couldn't believe they had the queues again, and you have to wait an hour and stuff. The Force Awakens was the last time I remember dealing with that.
Something tells me that Sony is paying like TikTokers and like people to be like hype this movie up or something. It is crazy. Like, how do you beat Endgame and Infinity War? Like, really? And first day ticket sales? That's insane. Like,
well,
I thought you did the Spider-Man. What happened?
Spider-Man.
You leaked that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield might be in the movie, and you bring back Molina's Doc Ock.
I think it's funny how many people actually care about Garfield's Spider-Man. Like, where were you guys when his movies came?
I liked this Spider-Man.
They weren't born yet. That's the problem. Fucking Pete. They weren't fucking alive.
Oh man, this is Generation 13.
Giant argument with all these fucking kids on Twitter, and they're all like 19. I'm like, oh, you guys weren't even fucking alive when these movies. You were 3 when this movie came out. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh man, it's like people are like, I don't know if I'm feeling this whole Keaton thing. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
you look at it like, oh, you were born in '92. Okay, it makes sense.
No, you were born in fucking 2002. You were born in 2002. Like, they're fucking. No.
It's scary.
Like, kids. Like, come on, you guys.
It's like, come on, watch the
classics. He was almost 40 years old when he was playing a 16-year-old. Like there's a clip going around the other day of them like in the museum, the scene where they're in the museum, and like the kids look all the kids like Joe Manganiello, Tobey Maguire, fucking
they're all like in their 30s.
Yes,
James Franco. They all look older. They all look, and then the teacher walks up and he's the only one who looks like he could be 16. The teacher. It's insane. And this is like the best fucking movie in the world. All right, guys.
I'm sorry, it's great. It's a classic.
And then let's talk about a pizza on set. Let's talk about how everyone on that fucking set hated Tobey Maguire and hated working with him every single day. And they paid Joe Manganiello to actually punch him in the face. Like, people from the crew tried to pay Joe Manganiello to punch Tobey Maguire in the face. You guys want to talk about abusive people on set? But, look, Tobey Maguire is the best person in the fucking world. Oh, he's coming back to the Spider-Verse, so let's all celebrate his greatness, fucking dweebs.
I still like the movie. He can be a horror. As long as he doesn't kill anybody or do anything outlandish.
I'll say this: they haven't aged as well for me, but I still like them. The first two are
Spider-Man 1 looks like it was filmed on a Broadway set. Like, everyone reviews like Spider-Man 2. I totally get it. It's a wonderful movie.
Spider-Man 1, I love it.
Spider-Man 2, you look like the end scene where they're like in that like dilapidated building. That looks like it was filmed on fucking Broadway, like during a fucking musical section. Like, there's like a fucking balcony. Like, I'm expecting fucking.
You're kind of right. I never really thought of that until
it's
now.
True.
I still dig it. I still love it.
Of course. Like, when you think back to when you saw that movie, you're like, wow, this is awesome. We have a Spider-Man movie, and it's actually good. Like, it was, like.
It makes me wonder if Feige saw Sam Raimi's like cut of Marvel or what's Multiverse of Madness, and he was like, bro, like. Why does this look like fucking the high school production of fucking Grease? Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, I hope that's not it, man. I have high expectations.
I like Sam Raimi, but like, I don't know. His style in the MCU is gonna be weird because it can be super jarring. Like,
could be.
Like, you know what I mean? I guess it fits.
I never noticed it
before. Madness. Watch like Evil Dead. Like, I think like Evil Dead 1 and 2, like the fucking camera, the way the camera moves, the way like it's all one set. Like, he's in one space the entire time. Like, you know what I mean? He's not going to these giant the giant set pieces. Like, you know what I mean? So like like even all the set pieces in like Spider-Man, like the movie, like they're all digital. Like he's not making like these giant, like Nolan-esque, like set pieces. Not saying all of them are, but like at least in the Far From Home. No, what's the one coming out? I get them all mixed up now.
No Way Home.
Goddamn fucking home naming convention. Yeah,
it's so annoying.
It's annoying. At least in No Way Home, there's like the big. They took over that stadium and they had this big like scaffolding like set. You know what I mean? We know that from set photos. So like, I don't know. They're great movies. Don't get me wrong, but I think like again. Why are we like? And these are the same people who complain about all the time. Like, why are we always living nostalgia? Like, why are we always living in the past? Like, why is Keaton what? You're only bringing Keaton back for nostalgia people. And then the same people are like, oh, I'm so happy Tobey Maguire's coming back. Oh, let's all applaud Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back. Oh, he was like the best Andrew. Like, when did everyone love Andrew Garfield's fucking Spider-Man? Like, when did that happen?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
What of those two? I thought he was better. I thought he was better than Tobey Maguire.
I don't like his Peter Parker as much as I like Tobey.
Again,
Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man, hands down. It's not even fucking close. Like all your complaints about Uncle Ben and all that shit. Fine.
I complain about Uncle Ben all the time. I do.
Yeah, but whatever. All fine. I get it. Like you want to fucking see his Uncle Ben. Okay.
This is the conversation we have.
He's the best balance between the two, easily.
Yes, he is.
Easily.
And he looks like a fucking teenager.
Yeah. That's the one thing about the Garfield one, because I'm like, Maguire looked old, but Garfield looks just as old. Like they both looked too old to play.
Like if they're gonna do college, like that, the challenge is gonna be make him look older.
Yeah.
Like right, you know what I mean? Like like he has to die in the next trilogy because he's not like you can't make him look like a 35-year-old Peter Parker. Like it's not possible.
Well, they'll bring in Miles Morales, right? And then
yeah. That's my prediction. This is not a scoop right now. I have no idea because obviously like no one knows, but like. We get 3 more. They introduce Miles. They introduce him in number 2. Peter dies in number 3, and Miles takes over and finishes the movie or whatever. That's my prediction. So,
I can see it. I see it.
I don't know what my fucking dream would be for this. Would be my dream for this movie. The end credit for this movie, like Doc Ock, like is playing like their friend. Like he's like, oh, I'm bad, but oh no, I'm good because like I'm like going to be the evil. I don't know this. I'm just spitballing. Wink. I'm gonna be the evil like good guy that turns good on this squad or whatever. And so what I think is that what I want to see is like as his final moments happen or whatever they are, they're like he sends out like a remote robot. I know Peter's gonna hate this. And it attaches to Peter somehow, and the end credits scene is a spider biting him, but it's this remote robot, and it's Dr. Octopus injecting his fucking consciousness into Peter Parker. And then we get like this super fucking then everyone can get what they want, right? They get this super dark, like gloomy, like mean, angry, like emo Peter Parker for their little college trilogy, and you can have like you can do the kind of Superior Spider-Man thing. I know Peter's giving me those eyes, like fuck, I hate Superior Spider-Man.
This sounds absolutely horrible.
And I love it.
I don't like Superior Spider-Man actually. Everyone tells me it's a great story. I just think it's just I'm like no, I'm gonna pass it.
No, I know they're not gonna do anything that crazy. No, they're just gonna use One More Day instead, and we're gonna fucking get that stupid storyline again.
One More Day. I like One More Day. I like Sins Past. Screw me. I like Sins Past too. I like all those crazy Spider-Man stories. I wish Twitter was around for Sins Past and One More Day, really. I would love to see the fanboys argue. I mean, God, for anything to get us off Snyder for one day.
Because we don't have enough stuff to argue about.
Imagine someone pitching Sins Past. So, all right, so here's what's going to happen.
Well, in the MCU, we got to get like 7 other characters done first before we can get Sins Past to the MCU. Oh man, we want to have this movie with Norman, and he possibly kind of rapes Gwen. We don't really know. It's kind of fuzzy. And then 20 years later, we're going to retcon and everything.
Krasinski, right?
Spencer, JMS did Sins Past, and then Spencer kind of like
did he do what the fuck, JMS? What's wrong with you?
Oh, he's crazy. He's crazy. I dig it though. That was the Spider-Man of my youth. Like when I was, when I was buying books and trades and stuff. I dig it.
Questionable. So Eric, anytime he says something that's completely off base, you just bring out the fact that he likes the two universally hated Spider-Man.
Everyone hates them.
They're the worst. They're the worst.
Oh, it's so great.
No, I just fight over, like you said, the MCU Spider-Man with him and everyone. It's just fun for me now. It gets them going. So
I just don't understand the complaints with Tom Holland. Like, I don't get it.
No,
I don't think you can complain on Tom Holland. He's great.
It's not Holland.
It's Spider-Man. Like, even the characterization. Like what are you complaining about? Like, every complaint I can shoot down, and yes, I can shoot down the fucking fucking uncle one or whatever. Like, we've seen it 20 times, number one. Number two, the core of the character is not that his uncle has to die. The core of the character is he has to learn from a mentor on how to be a hero. It doesn't matter who that mentor is. It doesn't matter
It
what
totally matters.
It doesn't. It doesn't
totally
matter.
matters.
It doesn't matter. Why does it matter? What does it matter? What does it matter if you had
something in common with Tony Stark? He's not this trust fund baby. He's an everyman. He's got to learn the everyman way. That's it. It separates them. They're raised differently. Peter Parker and Tony Stark are two totally different people.
But he idolizes Tony Stark just like he idolizes his uncle.
In this version, he's never.
So again, if you're not going to do the Uncle Ben thing, because it's been done over and over and over and over again. And again, don't worry, Peter.
I know what you're saying. I just don't like it.
You'll be taken care of, Peter.
See?
But if you're going to do that, then you have to fill that core element in another way. And I think they did that. And whether you like it or not, because it's not fucking his uncle, and he didn't fucking go to a wrestling match, and he didn't.
Watch that phrasing because that didn't sound good at all.
Oh, sorry. So I don't know. I'm fine with it. But it's not the same thing as Batman killing, right? Like, that's changing the core of the character. Like, that's completely I'm cursing up a storm. That's completely different.
We got away from the tri-state area.
So if you're going to change the core of a character, you need to replace it with a core thing. It's another thing that people are complaining about Kamala Khan, right? I don't know if either of you are familiar with the character or whatever, she has these embiggen powers, and the powers are a reflection of her like personal identity, and like she uses that to kind of like say, hey, I am who I am, and like I can I don't have I can dysmorph my body, but I don't have body dysmorphia. Is a weird way of putting that, but right, Peter?
Yeah, those are her powers.
Yeah. So and so people are like, well. And so in the show, I don't know if you guys know this, but in the show they're changing those, right? So in the show, she's going to be she's going to have. I'm going to use this term, but I don't like it. She's going to have Green Lantern-esque powers, right? So instead of it being her physical body, she will use like a tech, they'll say, to like create constructs that she can use in a similar or same way. Like, you know what I mean?
That's interesting considering how much they changed Captain Marvel to separate it from Green Lantern. That's interesting.
Right, but they followed Kelly's, you know what I mean? Kelly kind of started, Kelly Pseudoconic. Like, you know what I mean? She started that.
They followed, but they did change a few things. Like, I remember that was like, I was like, why do you guys care about this movie from 2011 that bombed? You're Marvel. Like, shut up and do your thing.
So I think so people are complaining like, oh, they're gonna ruin this core element. How do you know? Like, we don't know that they're gonna ruin this core element until we can see that they can replace it with something else. Like, maybe
point. I'm just saying, after like 7 appearances in MCU films, I can complain about Spider-Man a little bit.
No,
he's popped up for so many movies.
It's like the other complaint too is like, oh, he always needs help. Like, there's always someone there to help him. Literally, the last 2 endings of those movies, he completely did everything on his own by himself. One of the times he was blind. One time he had a sweatsuit on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at what point was he like, did he need
in Spider-Man 3, he needed Harry's help, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, not even that. In Amazing Spider-Man, he needs Gwen. That's why she's there or whatever, right?
And talk about what's it called? Magnifying the webs and all that.
Yeah. Stuff. So it's like, what are you guys talking about? Like,
you're just talking to talk. It's Twitter.
And then it's all people who are fucking like, oh wait, you
don't know people come to you on Twitter and like want to start shit because they know like this guy's already kerosene. All I gotta do is light it.
Probably. I usually can sniff it out and I can block them. I usually block those people. I'm like, all right, you're just fucking poking a bear here.
The last couple of days you've been calm. But before that, you were on like a tirade. I remember. I was like seeing all these things. Like, wait, what did Walsh do? He's pissed off a lot of people.
So I don't know how I'm doing a drama, but like that was actually one of our writers, and so like people were mad because I was kind of like razzing him a little bit. But the same thing too. It's like, hey man, like what are you talking about? Like you're saying all this stuff about Spider-Man because like he was like celebrating the way that No Way Home ends, and because we found out like through an insider how it ends, right, and what happens to Peter and all that stuff. He was like, "Yay!" But I'm like, "Wait, why are we celebrating this? Like, you're celebrating this because like you think that's gonna like end up with the version that you always like imagined in your head. It's always been there, but it's not there because it's not played by this guy that you like idolized when you were 3 years old or still in your mom's fucking womb. Like, what are you talking about?" And so like he got all mad and fucking then like all his followers got all mad and they said I was harassing him again. We can talk about this in a thing. There's a certain group of fucking fandom, and it seems to be around Spider-Man and around Star Wars and around Zack Snyder that are completely fine with you getting threatened with death and your family getting brought into the situation.
Is Spider-Man Twitter that bad?
Oh, it's bad. Yes, super bad. It's as worse as Spider and it's only gotten worse because of the Toby because of the fucking the No Way Home shit.
Really?
Like Toby's coming back and like he's gonna like restore like the greatness of Spider-Man and the cinematic world or whatever. Like, all right,
I love the things that these people think of.
It's crazy. So it was this big thing, and like, yeah, I don't know. And then I just basically told him to go fuck himself, and that was that. But like,
this is a parental advisory sticker on this episode.
Yes, we're gonna have.
It's insane. It's insane to me that like these people, like I was being called a harasser because I like was having a conversation about Spider-Man with this kid and like quote tweeting him. Granted, because he had like they do this thing now where they don't want people to respond to their insane ideas, so they turn off all the how you can respond. You know, like you can tell people, I don't want you to respond to this. So I took a screenshot. I was like, hey, what are you talking about? This is what he was quote tweeting all my shit. I can't respond to him. So I was like, fuck this. I took a screenshot. I quote tweeted it, and then that turned into I'm harassing this person to the point where like I'm this like harasser, this serial harasser, and I harass these people all the time, and all I'm doing is harassing people. And it's like, wait a second. We were having a conversation about Spider-Man. How did that turn into me harassing you? And then my mentions are flooded with go kill yourself, go jump off a bridge.
Well, of course.
I want to meet you in the fucking street. Like
I saw that one. What
the hell, man?
Wait, where are we? My picture is getting thrown. Like my 5-year-old picture of me is getting like tossed around, and like
where are these people getting pictures of you?
Dude, they are holding on to this shit. Like they hold on to this shit forever. Like they pass around the same 5 tweets of me, like saying I did the Snyder Cut. I said the Snyder Cut didn't exist or it wasn't happening or whatever.
They love that. They love getting at people for that.
Man, because not every fucking news outlet and the entire planet didn't report that for 3 fucking years every single day. But I'm the only one who did it apparently. All right, guys, calm down.
Try being the one outlet who tried to warn everyone back in the day about it, and then being called out later on by the people who now dedicate it to as their whole lives and have YouTube shows and hashtags about it.
No, yeah, I don't know. You guys are just as hated as I am. Well, not probably. You guys are hated for a different reason, but I know Jet gets as much shit as I do sometimes. But it's like
he's a target. He's a target.
Yeah, he definitely
is. Like it's just like I'm sure he's just curmudgeon-y. I'm like fucking like I'm curmudgeon-y about it. Like,
well,
fuck.
after you can only take so much, right? After a while, you're gonna just, it's like, yeah, I actually give you credit because I wouldn't even entertain half the shit you entertain. I'd just be like, you know what?
I'm entertained by the stuff you entertain.
But yes, it is entertaining to read. On our end, yes, it's very, very much something I enjoy reading.
I'm very entertained.
It's like age gap too, because a lot of those people that I seem to not like get along with, I guess seem to be very young and do not need to be being told like the reality of things or facts. They do not like to be told that they're wrong. They do not like to be pushed back against, or like they all create these bubbles where that never happens, and they all like.
I think you're onto something there. I think the younger generation of fandom doesn't know what it's like to kind of go through the growing pains of not having a movie come out every 3 months. You know,
just being fucking bullied every day for liking a fucking comic book and getting stuffed in the trash cans and lockers, not getting fucking a girl's phone number because you have a fucking Captain America comic book in your backpack. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was rough out there for us. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was bad.
It is weird how the game changed in like 2008. That was the kind of tipping point.
Yeah,
what was once kind of ridiculed has kind of become so mainstream now.
It's weird.
It has. That's for sure. It's definitely different now than it's ever been, because it's cool to like these things now. It never was before.
And I also do we need to learn to talk shit again. Like I think that's another thing that these like kids don't understand. Is like no one knows how to talk shit. Like just because I'm talking shit to you does not mean I want like bad things to happen to you. Like I have a different opinion. Like let's fucking talk shit about it and go our separate ways. Like I'm not like here to like make you like an evil I'm not here to make you turn you into an evil bad like person, like whatever, like okay. And then why are we protecting people we've never fucking met or had a conversation with in real life? The only time we've ever had a conversation with them is over our mutuals. Like your mutuals are not your fucking friends, everybody. Like they're not.
Some might be, but yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you don't know me. Like I don't fucking out of Twitter, you don't know what I do. And I don't know what you do. So, and I don't care. Like, that's why I talk shit. Cause like, fuck it. Like, who cares?
People definitely don't know how to break balls anymore. It's definitely like a lost art.
Everything is like serious. Nothing's a joke. I don't know did you guys watch The Pandemic?
I was offended.
Everything. Did you watch The Pandemic, like South Park, like the post-pandemic episode? No. Oh my God.
I haven't watched post-pandemic.
So like, do you know what it's about at least?
Vaguely, yes.
Okay, so like they're all grown up now or whatever, but like so basically Timmy is like a talk show host, and all of his jokes are just literal because he can't joke about anything.
That's amazing.
So, like, he's like, oh, how was like I was on a flight with the food, and like we got steak and it was wonderful. I loved it, and everyone just laughs and it's like, all right, that's like you know what I mean, because he can't like make jokes about anything anymore. And like I feel like that sounds bad, but like. And of course, that's where we're going. And it's like I think at some point, like we need to learn like there's a difference between having a conversation and making jokes and just being downright offensive. My daughter just knocked over Lego.
It makes me wonder, man, like how would people react to Richard Pryor in this thing?
Exactly. Like,
please. That not even, you don't even have to go back that far. Like you can go back.
And this is coming from me. Like, if you look at my Twitter account, I'm a fucking super liberal guy. Like, super liberal. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Like, yes.
Abortions for everybody. Vaccines for everybody. Like, do what you want. Be a man. Be a woman. Be a horse. Be like, go. Like, let's rock and roll. Like, I'm all for it. But like we gotta let people. Like, we've forgotten how to have a good time. And I think that like, I'm not saying have a good time. It's just, I think we've forgotten that like. We just need to learn to talk shit again and not say like, hey, and this goes with like politics too. Like, yes, you can go too far. There is too far, certainly, but like we keep moving that line, and eventually that line's going to go away, and we're not going to have anything left.
Yeah, the biggest for me is comedy. Like I've always said, comedy is one thing you shouldn't touch. Let people tell their jokes. I don't care how offensive they are. That's what comedy's always been.
And they'll tell you if it's not funny, right?
Right. But when people start going at comedians, for me, that's when I'm like, all right, you know what? You really need to calm down. These people are just trying to get you to laugh. And if you can't laugh at yourself and laugh at other things, like...
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So...
This got way too deep. Batman.
Well, let's end it on a cute. Oh, there we go. Another Batman fan in the crowd. Let's end it on Super Pets, because the trailer for Super Pets was posted, and this thing looks. And Casey, you have kids. You can take them to this. So
yeah, they'll love this. They love pet
this
movies.
This would be something you'd be able to take them to. Very, very cute. Very, very cute trailer. I remember, Pete, when we announced they were making it and we talked about the voice cast and stuff like that. So You watched the trailer. What'd you think?
I'm a sucker for anything with The Rock and Kevin Hart, so like sign me up. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's cool how I thought Kevin Hart was actually, just because I wasn't like so zoned into this one, I thought he was playing Ace the Bat Hound, but he's playing a different dog, so that's kind of cool. It looks really funny and just entertaining and just silly and kind of Pixar-y, Toy Story like. I'm digging how it looks, and I like how just goofy The Rock is as Crypto, and I thought the FedEx joke was funny, and just all the interactions with all the other dogs and everything. It just looks cool. It looks like a real fun time. Like I could see myself enjoying this as much as I enjoy like the Lego Batman movie.
Okay. Yeah, I could kind of co-sign on that one. I always like when they do things like this with heroes and with other kinds of IPs where they kind of take, all right, let's go from the pet's perspective. So yeah, I really enjoyed the trailer. I wasn't that hyped for the movie, but now I'll probably give it a watch and see what it's about, and just give it a whirl.
Will you take Leia?
I wish I could. She's getting a little old now.
I love that they added Jessica Cruz because like we need more lanterns. Like that's been one thing that's been really missing from the DC stuff is like there's not been no lanterns.
Agreed.
And Cyborg's design. Like I feel like they saw Doom Patrol and they're like,
yeah,
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
It just, everything but the pets almost feels kind of 70s like. It almost looks like, and this isn't 70s, but it looks like the Max Fleischer Superman suit, with the yellow and the black and around the S. So I kind of like dig like this different approach. Like I kind of like it. Like I always wondered what a DC movie would kind of look like in Incredibles animation style, and I feel like this is kind of similar to that.
I wonder if they saw this, if they've gotten. Has it test screen? Must have test screened already. But I wonder if this is why Metal Men got greenlit today or went through.
Maybe that would be good. I wasn't a big fan of the recent Metal Men run by Dan DiDio. I know he did like a 12-issue run before they gave him the axe. So like they're not really like my thing really. Every once in a while though they're funny
either.
But I don't know what a Metal Men movie can do really. Like
it's so the choices they are making are so weird.
Like Super Pet seems to me like it would be like one of those theatrical runs. Kids will go watch it and they'll see it. But
right.
Like Metal Men to me seems like one of those niche products where it's like, oh, here's Hush. Where it's like, this is for fanboys only.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. Like, where's Black Hawk, Steven Spielberg?
Yep.
I don't know. I think if they announce an animated movie, I think it's more likely to happen than not. Warhawks is just like, or Black Hawks, whatever it was called. I was kind of like, that's never going to happen. Like you're just announcing things to announce, and that's what Warner Brothers does. They just announce everything.
And it doesn't happen.
Yeah, like I want my slate of films for 20 years. Like every time they do that, they don't make half of them. Stop complaining about things you're never going to see.
So true. So true. They're not good at announcing their slate. That's for sure.
Which is why I was like, I get mad when people were like all upset about fandom. I'm like, what do you mean fandom is great? We saw clips. They told us what's actually happening.
I told everyone for 2 years. They are not. I've told them last year too. I was like, they are not going to make major announcements at that thing. They're just not. That's not a thing that they're going to do anymore. Number one, WB and DC, or we'll just say WB in general, they go through the trades. So every announcement from them is almost always going to come through a trade. Almost always. They're never a trade is always going to beat them either to the punch. They're going to find out first, and they're going to get confirmation, and they're going to run it. They're like, you're very, very rarely will you have something that's going to get through WB. It's going to make it all the way to a fandom thing that's pre-recorded. Like look at Sony. Look how fucked up. Like look how much they botched the Spider-Man stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's only Marvel can do that. Like Marvel is the only studio who is capable of hiding that stuff. And even when casting gets out from Marvel, we never know the character. We never know any details. It's just like this person got cast in a Marvel thing, and maybe we know the show. And that's all we get. And then we don't hear about a confirmation or the character until Marvel comes out and says it. And they're the only people who can do that. So I think whenever we're because I think we're gonna get more of these fandoms and these like things now because they're cheap and people don't have to go gather anywhere. But like I don't like if these events are happening, like don't expect like major. Like it happened with the Star Wars or the Disney Plus thing too, right? Like nothing was announced. Like they told you exactly what was gonna happen. Video games do this now too all the time. Like they're telling people exactly what's gonna come out when they're making the announcement, so people don't get all like crazy and excited and like think and get all mad at them when they didn't announce like what they thought they were gonna announce.
But see, like when you do that, that gets me all crazy and excited, and I'm just happy to get what I can get. You know, I'm like, oh, cool, you guys, this is what you got, this is what you're showing me. That's great. I can't wait to see it. Right. And I'm pumped. You know, like don't announce things if they're not going to happen. But like,
right, the only thing that I remember at Fandom they confirmed was the Static Shock thing that was coming. The show, or I forget if it's a show or the movie, but I remember they confirmed that.
Yeah, that was their second like secret announcement. Was like the animated movie for the icon or that universe or whatever.
Yeah, that was the only thing I remember.
And this year it was the comic stuff, right? So
yeah,
I don't know.
No. But I'm kind of the same way. Like, I don't need that stuff. I don't need to be told what's coming or announcements like that. Because it's cool to talk about.
In the theater. That's all I need.
Yeah,
it's cool to talk about. Let me go see it.
Man, then we get these conversations that we were just talking about, where this stuff gets hinted or leaked or talked about, and then the speculation starts, and then that's when it gets crazy. So I'm glad they're not doing that anymore. I guess is the best way.
My dream would be like, I don't know. I didn't know. No one would believe it anyway because that's how fucking crazy these people are.
All your dreams are coming out today.
But if Hamada and like Zack Snyder got on a Zoom call together and they're like, "We are done. We are not. I am happy at Netflix. I have
what about the Turkey and Final Crisis?
I have a 7-movie deal. Like, I'm going to be there for 10 years. Like, I'm going to do this." And then Hamada's like...
He said that before, though. He said on numerous interviews he's done. He's moved on.
It's insane. I just, like... I just want to be over that era. Like, I just want to, But then he does shit like the fucking Turkey thing. I know, I know it's like, it probably means nothing or whatever, but like he did that on purpose. Like he did that intentionally. Like no doubt that he did that intentionally. So it's like, why? Like why? Like why are you doing this?
It's funny because it's the one Crisis I don't care about. Like Crisis on Infinite Earths, I love. Infinite Crisis, absolutely love. Identity Crisis, I love that. Final Crisis, I just don't care.
It's complicated. It's like I feel like I don't know if I made this joke to one of you guys or somebody, but I feel like I made this joke to someone. I feel like he just typed searched Batman gun and was like, bam. I found the comic book with Batman uses a gun in it. That's what we're going with. So yeah, I don't know. Like I'm with you. Like let's not.
But whatever. Like
let's turn the page. Let's just turn the page.
It's pointless trying to talk to those people because they only hear what they want to hear.
It's time to end that era and let's move forward. So on that note, guys, let's move forward with the show. Pete, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can follow me on social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Zack Snyder's favorite, Vero, at Pete Illustrated. You can follow podcast number 1, the podcast you're listening to now, straight_O_G. That's Straight Out of Gotham on both Instagram and Twitter. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook fan page. Please check out both. You can follow podcast number 2, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast that I co-host with Sausage and Meatball. That's Nick and Nico Caruso. Follow that at Italians for Spidey. I got comic book reviews on BatmanOnFilm.com. I've got Batwoman reviews on BatmanOnFilm.com, and I've got toy reviews and interviews with people like Tara Strong and Michael Uslan over at Batman on Film YouTube. So check all that stuff out. And Eric or Casey, take it away.
Yeah, Casey, you take it away. So most people know where to find you, but tell them anyway.
You can find me at The Comics Kid on Twitter. I don't know. I'm mean, apparently, so beware. You can also go to thegww.com and find all of our cool reviews. We cover everything from video games to comic books to movies, anything kind of like superhero geek related, I guess. You can find there a lot of great people doing a lot of hard work over there. I do basically nothing. I just kind of fucking.
Well, we retreat you for it.
Other than that, go check out that site and those people. And thank you guys so much for having me on and let me just curse up a storm and talk shit.
Anytime, man. This is always fun to do. As you guys know, you can find me on Twitter at Finally33, spelled Finale 33. You could check out, as Pete said, check us out on Facebook. Check out the Twitter handle. I mentioned this on our last podcast, and I'm mentioning it again. We will be doing the fundraiser this year again. I haven't decided which charity we're going to be doing it for, but we will be doing the fundraiser again this year. So look forward to that. It'll be another one of those silent auctions where you could bid on. We'll have items you could bid on. You can find the stuff there. Probably going to be looking to do it a couple weeks, so finalize the dates and I'll put all the information out there and you guys can check it out. Remember last year we did it for the World Central Kitchen. They are someone I'm considering again, but might be in the running. Yeah, they're in the running, but I might be doing it with another charity in mind this time. So we'll see. I'm gonna try and finalize that on that. And we'll let you guys know, obviously, on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can find us. We'll send the information. And the other podcast we do it with, I haven't discussed with the groups yet, but we'll figure that out shortly. It's holiday season and you don't know what to get as a gift or stocking stuffer? Well, today's sponsor, Manscaped, has the tools to guarantee you win this year's stocking stuffer or white elephant competition. Manscaped is the leader in men's below-the-waist grooming, and they have served more than 4 million men worldwide. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with code Gotham. So I think that's it, guys. So for Peter Vera and Casey Walsh, I am Eric Holzman. You are listening to Straight Outta Gotham, and we will see you next time.
Booyah.